Now time for Sid 6-0, where I get 60 seconds to talk about anything. Start the clock, please. Here's what's on my mind this morning. I love Fred VanVleet. Love him. He went undrafted, bet on himself, became one of the Raptors' most important players, and signed an $85 million deal this past offseason. One of the other reasons I love Fred VanVleet is that he's one of the most honest quotes in all of sports. Take this week, for example. He was cleared to play last night after a bout with COVID-19, and to hear him describe it sent a chill up my spine. Here it is.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind. Definitely an experience that I won't forget. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but I'm here, I'm alive, I'm breathing, and I know there's a lot of people that didn't make it through COVID. So my thoughts and my heart is with the families and people that's been affected by this thing that weren't as fortunate as I was.
I know vaccines are coming. I know there's more hope now than ever before, but to hear a physically fit young athlete describe COVID-19 in those terms should provide all of us with a strong reminder this thing is far from over. So be careful. Matt Devlin is the voice of the Raptors. One of the upsets of my time here on BT is to get Matty to wake up at this time after a game night. And for the record, his hair looks just as good at 6:40 a.m. as it does for game night. Matty D, love you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. And not only that, it's the day after St. Patrick's Day. So
wow,
I am here.
You are a good man. You are a good man. Let's get to the game last night, Matty. Look, the result was what it was. The Raptors went to Detroit last night, lost their 6th in a row to Dwayne Casey and the Pistons. But to me, the big picture story is Fred VanVleet off COVID protocol back, Pascal Siakam back. I know it's going to take a while for them to find their rhythm again, Matty, but it's a simple lead for me. Great to see those guys back on the court.
I agree with you, and I go back to what both Fred and Pascal talked about with respect to the first time they got back out onto the court and the smile on their face and their love of the game. And prior to the start of yesterday's game, Sid, you saw that as both Fred and Pascal got on the court, and they were just ear to ear with the big smile saying, hey, here we are, we're back, we love this game. And, I do believe, as you talked about with respect to Fred VanVleet, that, the important thing is that everyone is safe and that they're healthy and that they're back. And to me, that's the most impactful thing during this time.
And again, the quote, I wouldn't wish this upon anyone. That,
yeah,
another reminder, right? Like I know mortality rates thankfully going down, but this thing's still out there. All right, in terms of the game aspect, the Raptors, for the first time since 2012, they've lost 6 straight, but players are coming back, still waiting on OG Anunoby. This team, Matty, this season has gone on a run, and a run that mattered. The games are ticking off here. They're just outside the playoff picture. Do we write them off again, or should we learn from our previous misgivings, or at least mine, where I at the times I've written them off at my peril? Should we be careful about doing that again with this team?
I believe so, because they're resilient, as you know, and you think back to the start of the season, they went 2-8, and it's understandable. It's not an excuse. It's reality. You pick up and move to Tampa a week before training camp, and a lot of new faces with that core group, and that core group is a championship group, right? Just 2 seasons removed from that. And then that middle part of the schedule, 15-9, where they got back to 17-17, and they were right there in the mix, 4th in the Eastern Conference. And then, of course, the health and safety protocols with respect to COVID-19 in the NBA. And so they've lost 6 in a row. But I think that that's just based upon circumstance, and it's not a reflection of who they are on the court. So once they get the conditioning back, I think that you'll start to see this team turn once again.
Raptors back in action tomorrow night against just the best team in basketball, the Utah Jazz. We'll see how they do. Matty D, after a game night, post St. Paddy's Day, putting on the glasses. How does Matt Devlin look? That is a look for Matty D. Rousing ovation here in the Breakfast Television newsroom. Love you, friend. Thank you.
You got it. Anytime.
Matty D, voice of the Raptors. He's good people. You sound off. You're good people. Coming up, the question is simply, do you have COVID fatigue? I think I know the answer, but we want to hear from you. 1-866-267-3797. Email us, feedback@breakfasttelevision.ca. Tweet us 24/7 @BreakfastTV. TV. We read everything. Trust me. Let us know. You sound off next. It's 6:44. Good morning. This is BT.